What is the dumbest thing you've ever done for love? Hi, my bluebirds. It is your favorite bird, and on today's episode of Deluluville, or just going through some shit, I'm going to talk about the dumbest thing I've ever done for love. And it's going to sound so cliche and so generic, but you know what? It's gotta be said. I don't care how many times you heard it, but it's a different testimony and a different way it's being, you know, you know. So my answer, the dumbest thing I've ever done for love was stayed past my point of being comfortable. Yes, 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 yes. I told you it was gonna be cliche. Y'all thought I was joking. I told you. But like all these stories on YouTube, it's a different version every time you hear it, but it always comes back to the same conclusion. It always comes back to the same conclusion. So I'm gonna tell you my story. Okay? So picture it. Sicily, 1942. No, seriously, picture it. May, no, sorry, June 2022. Yeah, 22. 21 or 22. No, it's 22. Okay. Picture it. June 2022. So, me, little old me, and my now ex. We had just gotten back together maybe 2 months prior beforehand. And my birthday was coming up. Birthday's in July, y'all, just in case. Hence the vlog. So, birthday was coming up. I had plans with him and my friends. And there was a certain event that I wanted to do, which would require all of us to have our IDs and stuff present. Now, at the time, this is, after, I don't want to say like, it's still COVID, but like after COVID, to where everybody wasn't like yard down the throat, if that makes sense. So, there was an event that I wanted to do that would require everybody to have their IDs. Now, why I say everybody had to have their IDs is because, during around that time, everybody remembers if you was trying to do government paperwork and stuff like that, government was working hella fucking slow. If you needed a passport, which usually took you about 2 to 3 weeks to get, now it took you about 2 to 3 months, maybe 4 months. So everything was backed up and behind. So I was making sure everybody had their IDs. If you didn't have it or if it was close to expiring, get it renewed and shit now, because I really, really, really wanted to attend this event with my friends, right? So told him he didn't have his. So I knew that though. But that was why I was giving the information out so everybody could have time to do so. And he kept brushing it off. I kept brushing it off. So by this point, I was getting annoyed, like hella annoyed. And I was like, okay, this is something that I really want you to attend. It may seem minuscule to you, but this is not minuscule to me. Like, this is my big moment. This is my birthday. And I always want to be around my loved ones on my birthday. Like, you can't get your shit together for me. Twisted it, tried to gaslight it into saying that I was being selfish. Because he had things going on in his life, and you're worried about me getting an ID for your birthday, da-da-da. And right then and there, I should have left him. Now, I know as I'm telling this story, probably people looking at me like, girl, it's not that big of a deal. It was to me. Let me explain why. On my birthday, since my mom has passed. My mom passed in 2014. So ever since then, I've made it a very big deal to always go all out for my birthday. In my fashion, whether it be going out to eat at a really nice restaurant, or we go do a concert, or we go do something. But I always do it with my loved ones, my friends. I created my own little family because my legitimate family is not, I'm not close with them like I would like to be. Well, let me rephrase that. The family that I have here in Maryland, I'm not as close to as the family that I have on the West Coast that I was living with for a while. That's another story for another day. So I created my own family, i.e., my friends. And we always celebrate each other's birthdays with each other. And being that I don't have my mom with me, I always make a point to go all big and all out to make up for what I would have liked to have done with her. So essentially, things that I'm doing with them are things I would have wanted to do with her. So I'm getting like a 2-for-1. And she would want me to have fun. So it's sentimental to me in some way, shape, or form. So, and on my birthday, my friends always got me gifts. They always did things with me. Whether it was on my actual birthday or the weekend of my birthday or the week of, because, everybody's working, everybody's got their own personal life. But they always made an effort. They made an effort to make sure that they were there for me in some way, shape, or form. Even if it was just coming to my house and dropping off a bottle with some ribbons around it. It's the thought that counts for me. It's the thought that counts. And I would go and do things for his birthday. I would go all out for his birthday if I had the funds to do so. And I never got that reciprocated from him. Again, going back to the original statement, Delulu Village is a dumbass bitch. Or just crazy in love. I was all three. So I would go all out for his birthdays. I would do, this, that, and the third. What I could afford and what I would feel he would like to do with me. And my thing was, okay, you could have done these things in the past, which is true, and vice versa. But you didn't do them with me. So I would like to experience what you experienced with me. Whatever that may be. Look, whatever that may have been. So to go back to original point, I would go all out for him and do sweet gestures for him, and I wouldn't get it reciprocated. So the one time I requested, like, you can't get out of this. Like, I want you to do this with me, and tried to gaslight me into making me seem like I was being selfish when the event is pertaining to me. It's my birthday. The day is about me. How am I being selfish for planning an event that's for me, about me? So it used to be little situations like that all the time. But this particular time, this was the beginning of the end for us. Because we broke up like right after. No, we broke up before my birthday. Yeah, we broke up actually the day before his birthday. Because this was a whole nother, this was still in May. Yeah, okay. I remember. Okay, so I got the years mixed up. It was 2022, but the event that I'm thinking of was in 2021. What I'm talking about, yeah. So, sorry, y'all. I have been drinking, so sorry, y'all. So, the event that I'm talking about is 2021, but it still flows over into 2022, so bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. So, needless to say, long story short, didn't do it. We go to dinner, me and my friends, and just a whole bunch of just embarrassing-ish that happened afterwards. But I was not comfortable with it. But I still stayed, even though I was not comfortable with it. And after the fact, after my birthday, this, that, and the third, what happened? what really kicked it off of me still staying up even though I wasn't comfortable? So I want to say this is October. So this is some months that have passed. It's October now. And I started my job. I started my new job, which I'm still at now. So, blessings. This is yeah. I want to make sure I get the timeline right, cuz I'm notorious. I have the timeline right, but I have the year wrong. So, the year went by semi smooth, not really. So, yeah, by October I had started my job. I had another job prior before that, but then I transferred and got a different job because I didn't like the job I was at. So come to October, and it's like the end of October going into November, right? So I remember I was getting off of work, and I used to have him meet me at the station to take me home. So this particular night, I should say, got off. I was off for the whole weekend because I had just started the job. So I had the whole weekend off. So I was stoked. I was pressed, right? So I get off. I meets me. His people that he was cool with was there. This, that, and the third. Now, without giving too much information, because there's still, as transparent as I am, there's so many things that go on that I don't like to divulge. So there was an incident that happened prior years beforehand that still was affecting the present that I was not comfortable with. That's another factor. There was an incident that happened in the past. We were together for some time, like 6 years. So there was an incident that happened maybe 4 years prior to that still was affecting the present, and I was not comfortable with it. And I kept asking him to fix that situation, and he didn't. And long behold, a situation presented itself that was scary for me because it was a lot of things that I had to witness that I have never witnessed before. As a woman, as, girlfriend, like things that no girlfriend or wife, or whichever one you are, that you should not have to witness going on. And a situation that I didn't even create, but guilty by association. It was one of those types. Like I said, I don't want to divulge because it's not everybody's business, but if you can piece it together, or if you've been in a similar situation, you could kind of like figure out what I'm saying. So, guilty by association, even though I literally didn't do anything or had anything to do with the situation. Like, literally, I had nothing to do with the fucking situation. So, and even then I was uncomfortable with it. And as somebody who has kind of like an old school mentality, because my grandmother raised me partially, and she always like instilled certain things. Like, as a woman, you're supposed to feel protected with your said spouse, significant other. And there were plenty of instances where I did not feel protected. And protected doesn't have to mean physically. It could be emotionally, mentally, spiritually. There were many instances where I just didn't feel protected. And this was like the fire starter to the beginning of the end. And it was like, look, I cannot be in fear of my peace and sanity because of a mistake that you have created, that you have done. That's not fair to me. It's not. And I could see if I had something to do with it, but I didn't. I didn't. So I don't understand why I'm getting the brunt end of this chaos and you still walking away scot-free almost to a point. Like, wait a minute. Wait a minute now. Like, so that situation becomes done and over, but stuff is just still not sitting right with me. And we were trying to, move on with life and trying to grow as a couple. And I felt like he just was stagnant in where he was in life. I felt like he was just too stagnant for me. And again, me trying to be comfortable in an uncomfortable situation, like maybe it'll get better, this, that, and the third, and it didn't get better. Matter of fact, God has a way of when it's not for you, God will purposefully make it uncomfortable for you to the point where you have no choice but to get up and exit stage left. So the more I was trying to make it work, the more I was trying to bear with him and be understanding, it was like the more chaotic it got. The gaslighting, the guilt trips, the trying to make me feel like I was being selfish or doing the most when actually I was just growing. I was just growing and evolving mentally as a woman and as a person. And I finally started opening my eyes and getting discernment, because that was something I was constantly praying for. Like, and not just in the relationship, but in general. I was constantly praying for discernment. I was constantly asking for signs for this, that, and the third. If it's not meant for me, show me, please, even when I'm being hard-headed. And he was giving me everything I was asking for, but I was still being hard-headed. So in turn, he was just making stuff more and more uncomfortable. And finally, to the point where it was one day, I think the day I broke up with him, and I was at work, and I was venting to one of my coworkers about what was going on with us. And I remember I went to the bathroom. I didn't have to go to the bathroom, though. I just went in the bathroom and I just wept. For like a good 5 minutes, I wept. I had to put wet a paper towel and put it on my eyes to get the puffiness out and get the red out. Like, I wept hard for like a good 5 minutes, muffling my noises and everything. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Please just give, like, if I'm not listening, tell me I'm not listening. Like something. So I remember I got off work and I minded my business. I'm listening to my music, walking home. It was a rainy afternoon. I remember it vividly. It wasn't pouring, but it was like a drizzly day. It was raining off and on this day. It was in June, so it's muggy. It's raining off and on, so, I remember I was walking, and my phone kept going off. It was these notifications. My notifications kept going off. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I take my phone out, because I'm listening to my music, so I don't have my phone in my hand. I keep it in my pocket. So I take my phone out of my pocket, and I'm looking. I'm thinking it's my dad or something like that. And it's him. And it was like the weirdest paragraphs I have ever seen before in my life. And he was just going on about I was doing him dirty. He heard I was out here messing with this person and that person and yada, yada, yada. And when I tell y'all, it went from confusion to anger to hurt to disappointment to rage, and all of 10 seconds of me reading the shit. I went through all the 5 fucking emotions, every emotion I could think of. I went through it in like the 10 seconds reading those messages. One, I was not messing with anybody. I wasn't. He always had this thing of me accusing me of messing with somebody, and I wasn't. I was going to work and coming home. Literally, to this day, all my friends know I'm a homebody. Like, if anybody knows my story more than me, it is my best friends. Because I tell my best friends everything, right? So they would be the ones, if they was to stand in front of a judge, their story would be verbatim the same shit I'm telling you. That's how much that's, like I said, they are my family. So I tell them everything. So, like I said, I go to work and I come home. That's all the fuck I ever did. If I didn't see him, so I'm like, where was I? Where did you see me do this at? And he's mentioning places that I have never been, let alone don't even have means to get over there. So I'm like, how can I be over? I don't even know anybody over in that area. You know, it was literally like, I saw you in West Bubblefuck with Rick and James, and I'm like, why the fuck would I be in West Bubblefuck? I know absolutely not a soul over there. All the people I know are over here in Timbuktu. Who the fuck do I know in West Bubblefuck? And let alone, who the fuck is Rick and James? Yes, I know what I did, so just shut up. Who the fuck is Rick and James? Who are these people? Who are these people? Are you making up shit in your head now? Like, and then the real nail in the coffin, when he accused me of messing with my best friend. Now I know that's such a touchy subject, especially with social media, and everybody goes, well, the shoulder to cry on is the dick to ride on and all this other bullshit. No, this is not that case. This is not that case. He's literally like my brother. We literally grew up together. Like, when I say we grew up together, literally we grew up together. Known each other since elementary school. Like, he knew me before I had ass and titties. That's what I tell everybody. Like, he knows me like the back of his hand, and vice versa. So the fact that you would go to the extent to do that, and mind you, my best friend, without telling business, my best friend. So, how, Sway? Like, how? Like, how? So, right then and there, God was like, I heard him in my ear and was like, I've given you so many signs. I don't know how many more signs you want me to give you. If this is not it, I don't know what to tell you, child. Literally, that's like, I could hear it. It was like, I don't know what else to give you. I've given you every sign I could get. So I put up with a lot of being comfortable when I wasn't comfortable. But for me, I can take a lot of shit. And that's probably one of the things that I'm learning to heal from. Because just because you know how to deal with a lot of shit doesn't mean you have to take it. But because I grew up not with a conventional childhood like most, I know how to function in trauma, which is ultimately my downfall in life a little bit. Well, not my downfall. That's one of the things that I'm learning to break out of, because I function in it so well that I couldn't tell the difference between functioning versus realizing that this is not normal. Just because you can function in it doesn't mean you're supposed to function in it. So between constantly praying to learn the discernment between that was it for me. Because I pride myself on my character and my demeanor, my personality. And anybody who has been in my presence, be it work, be it friends, be it family, I may be a goofy chick. I like to joke around. I don't take myself too seriously because life is really short. So I don't like to take myself too seriously. But what you will not do pertaining to me, everybody else is different, but what you will not do with me is defame my name, degrade my character. I pride myself on that. And I know for a fact I am a good person. I am flawed like every human being on the face of this earth. I am not perfect by a long shot. I have done things I am not proud of. I have said things that I am not proud of. But I can say overall confidently that I know I'm a good fucking person. And what you will not do is defame me, degrade me, let alone drag other people in shit that they have nothing to do with. And the fact that he tried to bring my best friend, somebody that I hold wholeheartedly, into bullshit that he had nothing to do with, no. Yeah, I'm one of those type of people. You're not going to talk about my friends. You're not going to talk about my family. If I fuck with you, you're going to know that I fuck with you. Because I'm never going to let anybody talk shit about you in my presence. Never. And that is something that anybody that knows me can vouch for and say, I'm not going to let you get shitted on in my presence. Or outside of my presence. None of that. I don't care if y'all know each other or not. You ain't going to talk shit about him or her. Not to me, you not. That don't go. So right then and there, I said, okay. For one, you're not going to bring my best friend into something that he has nothing to do with. Two, you're not going to talk about him. And you're not going to talk about me and talk about things that are not true. So since you really feel this way about me and you think all of these things, then we are done. Because I don't have to sit here and cry myself to sleep every night, pulling tooth and nail to prove something that I know for a fact is not true to you. And I know there are some people that like to say, well, if you know it's not true, why are you going so hard to prove the point that it's not? The principle. It's the principle of it. If you know somebody is talking ish about you, well, let me rephrase it. If somebody talks shit about me, I don't give two shits about it. People gonna talk about you till the day you die. That's just, and even when they throw you in the ground and put dirt on you, they still gonna talk shit about you. That's just the honest truth. So I don't care about people talking dirt about me. But if it's somebody that is in my immediate bubble, in my immediate aura, in my immediate space, and more importantly, you was my significant other. So that means I laid down with you. I exchanged spirits with you. We've been active together, if you know what sexually. We've exchanged spirits. You are close to me. And it's you of all people that's doing that? Oh, hell no. So if you really feel this way about me, then leave. But of course I'm going to plead my innocence, because I'm not going to have you walking around here losing your marbles thinking that I'm doing you dirty, and the whole time I ain't doing shit. So of course I'm going to plead myself to you. But if I keep pleading myself to you and you keep screaming out that I'm doing the opposite, well then fine then, my guy. Go. Like, go then. Just go. So, I didn't think I would get that personal about it. Forgive the back for cleaning it up. So, but that's kind of like my little rant, my little story. But like the all cliche, when you get uncomfortable, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you make changes. And I was sick and tired of being uncomfortable and being put into situations that made me uncomfortable mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It wasn't physical, I can't say that, but even still. So if you guys have anything to take away from my story, take away this. If you are uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form, leave said situation. Work, friends, family, whatever. Leave. Because it's going to be of no justice to you if all your marbles is gone. It's not. They walking around sleeping good at night, and you walking around here losing all the marbles you got left in your head. What's left of them. too busy sticking around in situations that you know are not good for you and you know you're not okay with, but because you love them so much and you want it to work, or you want this job to work because you've been praying for this job for the longest, or you want this friend to understand you because you've been friends for so many years. Like, no. If you ask God to show you discernment of what's for you and what's not for you, and he shows you, listen. Because the more you stay in it, the more uncomfortable it's going to get. And too many times we stay in situations that we were not supposed to stay in because of the comfort of it. He was my comfort. He was all I knew. He was all I knew. So of course it was hard for me to break out of it. Of course I didn't want to make that decision. He was all I knew. I didn't know anything outside of him. Everybody that knows me knows that he's all I knew. I didn't know anything else outside of him. But I needed this to happen because I was starting to lose sight of myself as a human being, as a woman, as an individual. I was starting to lose sight of myself because everything was wrapped up and consumed in him, and making sure he was okay, and making sure his well-being was good. And everything was so wrapped up and consumed in him, I was starting to lose myself. And in order for me to get back to myself, I had to remove him. And as I've stated in a few videos, he's not a bad person at all. He's not. But we just weren't compatible like I thought. I wish him all the best. I do. I wish him all the best. I wish him nothing but prosperity, all of those good things. But for me, and whatever plan that God has for me, I don't know. He just is not meant to walk it with me. But if I was to ever see him in the future, who knows? Who knows? But for right now, wasn't it? So, ever since then, I have been more at peace. I have lost some weight because I was gaining weight, losing weight. My hair was breaking off, like all time. Like, it was getting bad. Like, it wasn't becoming good to my spirit. I was mean. I was angry. I was always irritated and flustered with just everyone and everything. Like, it was very dark for me towards the end. It was very dark. I was losing myself in all spectrums. Not just with him in the relationship, but all the way around the border. I was losing sight of myself. But sometimes I've learned, sometimes I feel like we purposefully put ourselves in situations unknowingly, but sometimes I feel like God will keep us there in said situation just to see how long it'll take for the light bulb to click. Like, he is our parent. And when I think about it, our parents move exactly like he moves. We are his creations. It's the same thing like when our parents, when your mom tells you, stop putting your hand on the burner. You still put your hand on the burner and you burn yourself every single time. And she always tells you stop. But after a while, she stops telling you. She stops telling you to stop, but she doesn't say nothing. She'll just sit there and wait to see how many times you're going to do it till you get sick and tired of doing it. Till you get sick and tired of burning yourself. And then once you get sick and tired of burning yourself, she's still there with the Neosporin, with the Band-Aid, with all of that to wrap up the boo-boo, kiss it, and then you go about your day. God works the same exact way. That is something I have learned. He will sit there and let us do us for as long as we can do it till we get sick and tired of doing it. But in the meantime, while we still doing us, he's still throwing little things in there, hoping you will catch the ball while he's throwing it. Like, she getting comfortable. If I throw this, because this is not what I have for her. If I throw this, will she catch it? If I throw this, will he catch it? If I do this, will they catch it? And sometimes we will. And we know that it's what we're supposed to do, but we still drop the ball and still go back to running the other side of the court. Same analogy. He let me do me for as long as I could withstand it. But when he got sick and tired of looking at it and watching me make the same mistakes, he started throwing them balls out there to see if I was going to catch it. And lo and behold, after a while, the last ball he threw, I caught it and I shot it. I ain't fumbled it. So, so that's my story of me being in Deluluville. Well, no, I wasn't in Deluluville. I was just dumb in love. And I'm a sucker for love. I love love. That I do. But when it ain't meant for you, it ain't meant for you, honey. With said person. Let me rephrase that. Because I still believe in love. But it just wasn't meant with him. So, again, I say, use your discernment. Please, please, please. And you're not going to get it right the first time. You ain't even going to get it right the second time or the third, fourth, fifth, or sixth time. You're not. You just not. Okay? But eventually, if you're really serious, if you're very serious with God and you're trying to get your life straight, eventually you're going to listen. It may take about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times, but eventually you will hear it and you will listen. So prick open your ears. Listen here. Listen here. Stop listening here, because here can deceive you sometimes. I'm talking about in the physical world. Here can deceive you. Listen here and there, or there. So, be safe, my loves. Be kind to one another. Love yourself. You are worth it. You are worthy. And you are capable of everything that you dreamed of and more. And don't ever let nobody tell you otherwise, because you're the shit. And if nobody else out here tells you that, I'm telling you that. You're the shit. And you can do it. So, peace, grease, and tipsy wings. And now I gotta go drink water because the tipsiness is wearing off and I'm starting to catch cotton mouth. So, love you guys. Bye.